Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new trailer that has come out for the most recent James Bond movie, and that is No Time to Die. Now, this is the first trailer that we're receiving for this film. It is due out, I believe, midway through next year. Um, it's the direct follow-up to the 2015 James Bond film Spectre, and again stars Daniel Craig as James Bond. Now, this movie did have kind of an interesting little blip on the radar that happened about a month and a half, 2 months ago, where Lashana Lynch, who most people would probably know as the Monica Rambeau character from Captain Marvel, was rumored to be taking over the 007 role. Now, they didn't specifically say James Bond, they said 007, and it was later clarified that basically due to a plot point, James Bond has retired. He's in retirement, and she is the new 007 that has taken his place at MI6 before he is called back into the fold to deal with Rami Malek's character. So there's some stuff that it could factor into certain things in the movie, and I think I'll go over that as we go over the trailer. So, first of all, we start out at the very beginning when we have a little scene, looks like a car chase. You have the character of Madeline from the previous film, Spectre, who is still in this film, and she shows up quite prevalently in this. She's kind of a through line. And so she comes in, and then you also see kind of this conversation that she's having with Craig about her having secrets, and we follow back up on this scene at the very end of the trailer. So after that, then we go into some of these other scenes where the head of MI6 is saying we need Bond, or where is Bond, and they need to get him back in the fold to deal with this new threat, and basically. After that, then we go into the part of this that's kind of concerning a little bit, and that is the Lashana Lynch character. Now, she has a little bit of a monologue over this particular part of the trailer, and she goes into a dialogue with James Bond. I guess she's paired with him for this mission, and basically through conversation, a little bit of a back and forth where we find out that she is a 007, and she then closes off the statement by saying, "And I will." And stay in your lane, otherwise I'll put a bullet in your knee. Yeah, you don't say that to James Bond unless you're the villain. Like I understand, unless she is a secret villain in this movie, which would be really interesting. I think that would actually be a pretty good plot twist because I don't think anybody's really expecting that right now. Everybody's kind of expecting the whole, passing of the torch type of thing or something like that because this is supposedly Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie, just like the last two were. But uh, you know, I think that it would be good if they did like one of those little heel turns. But this seems like it's making it a little bit obvious if that is going to be the case. But ultimately, like I said, you don't really see much of her character. You know that she's another double O. You know that she's out of MI6. You know that she has some kind of experience. She's been a double O for about 2 years, so maybe that's about how long James Bond has been retired for. It's a 3 year time skip from Spectre, so it's the same kind of deal there because that came out in 2015, and or sorry, it'll be almost 5 years by the time that rolls around. But I don't know. This would be very interesting to kind of see where this exactly winds up going, just with those two's relationship, and if that does turn out to be the case, that she's kind of like a villain or something like that, or she does like a heel turn in the middle of the movie. But also the character of Madeline seems to have some kind of a central point in the middle part of the trailer as well. There's a scene where she's walking down a hallway with Monica Rambeau, or not Monica Rambeau, with Lashana Lynch, and James Bond. They're talking about, oh, we got to make sure all the variables and everything, and nothing surprising. He says nothing can surprise me, and then he turns around the corner, and of course she's there. So we can assume that they probably have a falling out or something early on in the film. Maybe that's that scene that we see at the beginning, and then through that, by this point they've reunited. So that is kind of interesting. And then after we kind of go through that middle bunch of scenes, then we start bleeding into a lot of the action, and we get to see Rami Malek. Now, Rami Malek has a monologue over part of that as well, by basically saying that he's kind of like him and James Bond are one and the same. That kind of classic villain monologue that you hear in a lot of these types of movies, where Rami Malek kind of goes, "Oh, we aren't so different, you and I," and that kind of an idea. And it works. Rami Malek, I think, does a very good job. just as an actor in general. So I would be excited to see him in this film. In that section, we also have something along the lines where we meet Christoph Waltz's character of Blofeld from the previous film. Now that's also interesting because they're bringing that character in as well. And basically through the monologue with Christoph Waltz, Daniel Craig is told that basically like they ever find out what her secret is, and at the beginning of the initial trailer when they're in the car chase, he's saying that her secret hasn't been revealed yet. And, it seems like there's a lot surrounding this character for this upcoming movie. So we go into some of these kind of good action scenes. There's a scene where Daniel Craig jumps a motorcycle over this little brick wall. He's riding up a set of stairs. There's a few other ones, and then we get the coup de grace at the end, which is again kind of that classic James Bond type of thing, where he's in this nice, awesome sports car and it's getting shot up by all these guys, and obviously it's bulletproof. And he just looks Daniel Craig's facial expression in the scene just looks so funny because he looks directly at the camera. He's just like, bitch, please. And then of course he flips a couple of switches inside the car, and a couple of machine guns pop out of the headlights, and then he just does donuts while firing Gatling guns and murdering people. I mean, it's that end shot is just so James Bond in so many ways, and I love it. But the rest of the trailer, again, fairly pedestrian. There's also this kind of motif of a mask that shows up a couple of times. We see it in a case, and then we see somebody wearing it later on. There's a scene where I presume that Daniel Craig is like underneath this frozen lake, and there's a guy with a machine gun above it, like looking through the ice. I don't know if he's looking for him, but he has that busted mask that we see in the case later on in the trailer. So I'm not sure who that is. It might be Rami Malek, but again, a lot of questions raised by the trailer, which is good. Because that's kind of that's a catch for people. It doesn't give away too much of the plot. We know Rami Malek's the bad guy, so okay, that's it. We kind of know Lashana Lynch is involved. Maybe she's good, maybe she's bad. Daniel Craig is obviously still back as James Bond, and you have the Madeline character who again is coming back. Christoph Waltz is going to have some kind of an appearance in this film as well as Blofeld. So there's kind of a lot going on. It has a lot of hitches. There's a lot to kind of look forward to with this, just to see how these things are playing out and what the context of them is going forward with the movie. And again, we're probably going to get at least 2 full trailers probably before this film comes out. Maybe 1 if they're going kind of skimpy. But this trailer does not commit the cardinal sin of trailers. It doesn't commit the sin of it tells the entire plot of the story through the trailer. Again, it leaves a lot of questions, which is what you want. It's a good hook. It gives you some interesting looking action scenes. You get some good monologues with some characters. You get kind of all those mysteries and stuff, and you get Daniel Craig obviously just being Daniel Craig James Bond, which a lot of people really enjoy Daniel Craig. I personally do as well. I know there's a lot of detractors, but that's kind of what he just does. He's kind of that really intense looking James Bond, when he's doing things. But, as usual, I will make sure to link the trailer below if you want to watch it. And of course, leave in the comments any thoughts you have on this. Are you excited for No Time to Die? Is Craig your favorite Bond, or at least a Bond that you like? Are you excited for this film, knowing that it's going to be his last? Again, like the last 2 were supposed to be his last ones. Again, put your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to know what you're thinking. Hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?